Help is on the way for Texas State's on-campus housing issues. Thanks for watching Bobcat Update. I'm Jason Britch.
And I'm Jen Nickel. We'll also tell you how to help collect food this holiday season for those who need it. The Chief Justice of the Texas State student government is no longer at risk of being impeached. Monte Ashqar has more in this Bobcat Update.
Earlier this month, Senator Shanna Schultz brought up articles of impeachment against Chief Justice Mike Guzman on the basis he allegedly violated ASG's code of conduct for discriminating against certain ethnic groups in a series of columns he wrote for the University Star. Schultz says a student complained to her about Guzman's columns.
Originally, it was sourced from a constituent of mine in one of my classes. He had the articles that were written, and he came up to me and goes, "Is this guy an ASG?" And I answered yes. And he said, "So what, does ASG just allow discrimination?"
In response to the charges, ASG formed a committee to decide whether Guzman should be impeached. Earlier this week, the committee decided no, he was not in violation.
We put equal weight on what the Constitution said and on what each member of that committee thought sincerely from the allegations and from the evidence in front of them, whether he was guilty.
Senate Pro Tem Sarah Wood says Guzman has been cleared of the charges because of ambiguous language in the ASG Constitution. Guzman says he's the one who's been discriminated against.
I'm a conservative columnist, and I think if I was a liberal columnist writing on liberal issues, I think they wouldn't have had a problem with anything that I have written.
Media law professor Gilbert Martinez says that even if the ASG had succeeded in impeaching Guzman, he probably could have won a lawsuit on First Amendment grounds. The First Amendment, of course, protects freedom of speech. Martinez says his newspaper articles would not have been sufficient grounds for impeachment.
Now, I think there's a difference between discriminatory conduct, which you can punish, and discriminatory speech, which would certainly be protected by the First Amendment. You can't force someone to have an opinion that they don't have.
Martinez says that the courts usually rule in favor of more speech, not less. In 1968, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in Brandenburg versus Ohio that unless the speech results in imminent lawless action, then it is protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution. That law remains in effect today. For Bobcat Update, I'm Monte Ashqar.
Construction is underway on Texas State's newest housing complex. The North Campus Housing Complex will be located next to the Student Health Center and had a ceremonial groundbreaking yesterday morning. According to the University Star, the new complex will have two 6-story residence halls that will be home to more than 300 students. Common areas and study spaces will be available throughout each floor of the 189,500 square foot complex. The new residence hall will help ease the strain on campus housing and is set to open by fall 2012.
The holiday season is approaching, and in this Bobcat Update, Carla Estrada tells us what the Hays County Food Bank is doing to help families.
The Hays County Food Bank is carrying out its annual Turkeys Tackling Hunger campaign. The food bank has been helping families for several years. It serves the disabled, the elderly, and others who are in need. The food bank spends $20 to purchase a turkey and all the trimmings to make sure no family goes without. Director Jerry Gracie says the need is even greater now because of the poor economy.
And we've had an increase in people attending our distribution sites. We know there's going to be more people wanting turkeys for Thanksgiving.
The Hays County Food Bank works with organizations such as HEB, Grande Communications, Kettler Roofing, and Broadway Bank to make sure the food drive is a success. It also receives contributions from the community.
We get a lot of money donations, but we get a lot of food donations, which helps us out. During this time, we get huge amounts of donations from people, from the schools, from churches, from the university.
Turkeys Tackling Hunger helps residents of San Marcos, Kyle, Buda, Wimberley, and Martindale. Event coordinator and board liaison Kate Shaw says it's important to give back to the community.
I hear from a lot of people who are have maybe lost a job or had an illness and just need a little something extra to get through the holidays. So it really helps people to enjoy that holiday tradition that they might otherwise go without.
The Hays County Food Bank expects up to 1,700 families to receive assistance from the Turkeys Tackling Hunger program. With the way the community has been responding, it looks like the food bank will be able to assist all these families in need. For Bobcat Update, I'm Carla Estrada.
This homecoming season marks the 1-year anniversary of Memorial Garden. Last year, the Texas State Pride and Traditions Committee opened the garden to pay respects to students, faculty, and alumni who have passed away. The Memorial Garden is located in between Lampasas and Flowers Hall. Plaques can be purchased for $400 to honor a loved one.
Texas State hosted a Mass Comm career fair today. Representatives of several corporations spoke with students in the LBJ Student Center ballroom. Among the companies represented were Border Media, KUT Radio, and KTBC Fox 7. Students could pick up applications and brochures, as well as find information about internship opportunities.
A teenager is back in custody after escaping from the Hays County Juvenile Detention Facility. The San Marcos Daily Record reports that the boy broke out around 6:30 Tuesday night by climbing over a barbed wire fence. Police say they called in other law enforcement agencies to help surround the area, but the boy was already gone. He was on the run for a day before turning himself in yesterday. Police say this is the first escape from the facility that they can remember. The boy is now facing a felony charge of escape.
Marisol Valles Garcia, that's probably an unfamiliar name, but there's no doubt about it, she's gutsy. Valles Garcia is a 20-year-old college student majoring in criminology, and now she has a new job, police chief. She's accepted the job in a small village near Ciudad Juarez, one of the border towns where drug-related crime and murder have run rampant in recent years. Valles Garcia will lead a police force of 13 people to protect a town of 8,500 people.
In Texas, a homeowner might be surprised to find an armadillo in his yard occasionally. In South Florida, you better watch out for alligators. That's what happened to Peter Lopez this week. He was cleaning debris from his backyard when he found a young alligator taking a dip in the family pool. Another family recently reported having 5 gators in its backyard. Experts say the sudden surge in the number of alligators roaming into backyards is probably associated with climate change. They also say, whatever you do, don't feed them.
Are you addicted to the internet?
We'll tell you which symptoms to watch out for next on Bobcat Update.
Being a college student in a new city is often very hard to adjust to. Teens are thrust into an environment where classes are becoming more demanding, expectations are higher, and fitting in somewhere seems harder than ever before. And very often they don't have the support from friends or family back home. The Texas State Mentoring Program can provide that support. The program offers a compatible mentor and friend who helps reduce the stress of adjusting to a new campus and the anxiety that often comes with it. While hanging out with your mentor, you can talk about grades, choosing classes, and ways to get involved on campus. Getting a mentor is simple. If you're a freshman or new transfer student, go to texasstate.edu/mentoring.
Many of us spend a lot of time on our computers, maybe too much time. Some suggest that browsing can be addictive. To learn more about this phenomenon, Christina Salazar joins us now in our first ever live and on the scene news report. Christina is reporting to us from Old Main, where she's been surfing the web. Christina?
Thanks, Jason. New research is showing that some internet users may have a disorder, an addiction to the web. Perhaps they're spending too much time on Facebook or YouTube. It's called Internet Addiction Disorder, or IAD, and it occurs among those who surf the internet too much and their daily life starts to suffer. The American Psychological Association has formally recognized internet addiction as a disorder. Anywhere on campus, you can find students and even faculty members regularly checking their Facebook or Twitter accounts, or perhaps they're watching the latest videos on YouTube. Texas State student Johnny Castle says his browsing on Facebook takes up too much of his time.
I don't study much, but I spend about an hour a day mostly on Facebook. I love Facebook.
Some symptoms experienced by those who are addicted include excessive time devoted to online activity, lack of sleep, fatigue, declining grades, apathy, and irritability offline. Texas State psychology professor Dr. Randall Osborne says that online addiction should be dealt with.
You know, there needs to be something that breaks that cycle that they're actually going to be that they're going to commit to. If that's an external, sometimes like an external anchor, somebody that will actually hold them to it and say, in 1 hour I'm going to tell you to get off the computer and I'm going to shut it off if you don't.
Nowadays, social media users have the capability to check their accounts on their phone or wireless laptops. Many do so while eating, studying, or even during class. Texas State sophomore Christina Lyman says checking her Facebook has become a distraction from doing more important things.
lots of times I'll have like a lot of stuff to do, and like, you know, I'm on my computer and I'm supposed to be writing a paper, and then 3 hours later I've accomplished absolutely nothing, and I've just been on Facebook for a while. So
Perhaps you've seen those cable programs that describe interventions to help save the addicted. Some studies may suggest that such an intervention might be necessary for the internet addicted as well. Or, at the very least, if you feel your online activity has gotten out of control, you should speak with a counselor to help evaluate the situation. Reporting live from Old Main for Bobcat Update, I'm Christina Salazar. Back to you.
Starbucks is looking for a way to attract more customers by adding alcohol to its menu. According to USA Today, the coffee chain gets 70% of its business before 2 in the afternoon. So to attract more customers, the chain is expanding its choices to include beer and wine. The first store to change its menu is in Seattle. If it's a hit, Starbucks will likely expand the new menu and redesign to about half of its 16,000 stores nationwide. Starbucks has 2 stores in San Marcos, one in the LBJ Student Center and the other near the Centerpoint exit off of I-35.
They call themselves the Gearheads. They love cars. The group's been around for about 4 years, but recently changed its name to Gearheads after being known as the Car Association of Texas State. It's open to all students who like working on cars or just simply being around them. Members meet every Wednesday at the Bobcat Stadium parking lot. With around 25 regular members and sometimes having as many as 75 people attending its meetings, the organization holds social events and fundraisers to further its cause. The Gearheads will be showing off cars every week in the quad through November.
A classic car auction will be held in San Marcos this weekend. The 2-day Hill Country Classic will feature more than 180 cars. 30 of those cars will come from the collection at Dick's Classic Car Garage on Hunter Road. All proceeds from these cars being auctioned will go to the garage's museum that was founded in 2009. The auction begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow night at the Embassy Suites. Bidders may register online and telephone bidding is available.